Yasharala. This is your brother Abaniah of the South Arm of the Great Millstone Camp here in Trinidad, Heralds of Yahweh Shai, coming to you with another lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. First, we give all honor, all glory, all praises to Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai Bahasham Rekah HaKodash. Double honors to the apostles, prophets, and teachers of Great Millstone, our spiritual fathers who rule well. Salakia. Peace and salutations to the Sidsiakia Manakwa who follow in this truth in all diligence and all sincerity. Now we must put up this video disclaimer. TikTok, this video is for educational purposes only. And we have to put it up because a lot of the truth and the information being brought out by the men of the Lord is being censored. So I want to deal with the mark. Many persons believe and still teaching that the mark is Sunday worship. And they like to say that they prove that the mark is Sunday worship because the Sabbath day, which is the 7-day Sabbath, is the seal, the stamp of the Most High's authority. Now, that sounds all well and good, But what these people fail to understand, they keep the Sabbath on the wrong day. Saturday is not the 7th day. You see, what you people don't understand, the Sabbath comes in for the month according to the moon. What day the new moon comes in on. That determines your Sabbath for the next 28 days. So, with that piece of information, how could the mark be Sunday worship? How does one buy and sell with Sunday worship? How is that possible? How does one buy and sell with sin? Because we have those who say the mark of the beast is sin. How does one buy and sell with sin? How does one buy and sell with keeping Sunday law, Sunday sacred as the Sabbath? How that possible? That makes absolutely no sense. What systems are in place for them to monitor a person if they keep in the Sunday law? To know if they keep in it. I mean, come on, that's pretty stupid. The MOTB is a microchip, the RFID chip. And every information and everything the Lord has made it manifest to show you that that is what it is. The fact that you cannot see it, you cannot understand it, it's because you have been blinded. Salakia for that, folks. Salakia for that. Right, so as I was saying, the MOTB is the RFID microchip. And the Lord has made it manifest where everybody can realize it. And if you don't realize it, it's because the Lord have allowed your eyes to be blinded by the God of this world. The Lord has poured out that spirit, that deep slumber on you, so you can't see it. And you're going to make fun of his prophets for saying that the MOTB is the RFID chip. It's a literal physical thing. It's not a spiritual mark. Because Esau is a carnal man. Now, before I bring out the article, I want to go into a couple scriptures. So let's go to the book of Revelations. To start from verse 15, it says, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast. And here you see a bearing witness to it today. One of the, when it talk about he had power to give life unto the image of the beast. Let's look at this, for example. Look at a human being. There are many factors pertaining to a human which proves that they are alive, that they're breathing. You know, the heart is beating, the blood is pumping, they're breathing air, oxygen, they give off carbon dioxide, they eat, they rest, they sleep, and what have you. Right? Proof of that. So you see many different components pointing or proving beyond a doubt that a person is alive. So too with the system of the beast. His various laws, his decrees, his military might, and the various schemes he come up with to enforce his totalitarian will upon the population. Right? And one of the means, according to prophecy, that he's going to force upon the people to gain that control is pushing of the RFID chip. And he had power to give image unto the life, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. And a lot of you seem to think that worship is simply you singing songs of praise, you're kneeling down, you're clapping, you're singing, you're dancing. No. Anything that occupies the position above Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai has become your idol and you worship. You're giving your time, your effort, and your energy to something other than Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, then you are guilty of worshiping an idol. So don't think for a moment you'll be having a hymnal and you'll be standing singing songs like you're in a bloody hell choir. The fact that a lot of you are going to take that chip proves that you are indeed worshiping the beast. Right? Verse 16, and he caused it all. How is he going to cause all? Through the decrees, the laws he passed, and the enforcement of those laws by the various arms. For example, the police service, the Coast Guard, the National Guard, all the various military offices at his disposal. All of them going to be used to force this mark upon people. And he caused it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in his right hand or in his forehead. And that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. And a lot of persons, especially Christians, going off by telling you it's Sunday worship, and the 666 goes back to what is the saying, boy? They have a whole bugged out theory behind it. And let me tell you something. When it says, save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name, all of that still adding up to basically the same thing. You cannot buy or sell unless you take the mark. It's that simple. And it's not going to be the worshiping on no specific day. The mark is not Sunday worship. Because when you go into that word mark, it goes back to the word charagma. Which is what? An imprint. When something is imprinted, it means it's put in your body, under the skin, by a device known as a what? A palisade. What is the modern day palisade? Because palisade was a wooden, they would get logs and they would sharpen it to a point and they will put it in the ground to form a barricade and a barrier to prevent the enemy from being able to sneak up on the troop, because it's tall and then you had to go over the pointed stakey part, so that would be difficult to scale. Right? So what would be the modern day palisade pertaining to prophecy that is going to be the delivery system for this MOTB? It's going to be the hypodermic needle. The needle that contains that hole, which will house the RFID chip, which is, as the experts say, is the size of a grain of basmati rice. That is your palisade and the delivery system where this device is going to be imprinted and implanted in your body. Right? So let's go to the article here. I have a little reading to do. And this article was sent to me, the link for this was sent to me by the beloved brother, Matazabat of GMS Melbourne, Australia. Tawada to the beloved Ak for this information. And in his country, things are moving rapidly. And Esau, this is the funny thing, Esau telling all you what the mark is, and all just refuse to accept it. Right? So he said, Gates Insider, digital ID will be embedded under the skin of every child by 2025. We're in 2024, and 2024 is almost at an end. Are they going to see prophecy fulfilling rapidly? And notice, it says the mark of the beast already here. So, it says globalist billionaire Bill Gates has begun rolling out digital IDs that will be embedded under the skin of every child in the world with or without parental consent. And this is the arrogance of these people. They think they have right. You see, this is why when we, the men of the Lord, tell you you are in bondage, you are in slavery, you call us mad. Why would they have such a belief? And why would they try to enforce that if you're not their slaves, if you're not their servants? They don't need they're flat out telling you, we don't need your consent. Your children is not your own. Your children is our property. That's what the slave master, that was the mentality of the slave master back then. Whatever child that was born to the slaves that he owned, that child was considered his property. The parents had no say. He was the one to determine what was best for that child because that child was his property. And it's no different today when you hear this Edomite piece of shit saying that with or without a parent's consent, all children will be chipped. Let's continue. The People's Voice has warned for years that Gates and the World Economic Forum are planning to create a digital database that tracks all citizens across the globe as part of its Agenda 2030 for humanity. Go down. Now the elites are making their move, and innocent children in Bill Gates' laboratories are being targeted with Mark of the Beast microchips in plot programs as we speak. Right? Globalist billionaire Bill Gates is demanding, listen, he is demanding, fuck you Gates, he is demanding world governments follow the lead of the European Union and India and approve his global digital ID system, which has inbuilt features designed to exclude people from participating in society if they do not comply with the globalist agenda. And let me get a scripture to show you why a lot of people is going to take heed to what he says. Let's down. Rich man speakers. Give me a second here. Right. Sirach 13. Let's see. This is the reason why the rich rule the world and they have the say. And everybody follows what they say. It says, scripture, this is Sirach 13 verse 23. When a rich man speaketh, every man holdeth his tongue. And look what he saith. They extol it to the clouds. But if a poor man speak, they say, what fellow is this? And if he stumble, they will help to overthrow him. So like, let me just read verse 22. It says, when a rich man is fallen, he had many helpers. He speaketh things not to be spoken, And you actually hearing them proudly proclaiming that you don't have a choice. You don't have a choice. It's their way or is death unaliving. It's their way or unaliving. Reading it again, when a rich man is fallen, he had many helpers. He speaketh things not to be spoken, and yet men justify him. Bill Gates got on a platform and openly talked about reducing the population of the world by 10 to 15% through vaccines and other reproductive services like family planning and stuff. Was he arrested? Was he charged? Was he held to task for that? No. Because this is the power that the rich have. They could speak things that the ordinary man like you or I cannot speak. And they suffer no repercussions. And yet men justify him. The poor man slippeth, and yet they rebuke him too. He speak wisely and could have no place. So we bring in only the truth of Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai, and only wouldn't take heed. To you people, we are just prattling hens. A bunch of conspiracy theorists. Let's continue. Gates plan to punish and exclude people who do not comply with globalist authoritarian rules can only work if everybody in society is using his global digital ID. That is why I say the pride of Esau is going to be brought low. That's why he's planning to embed the digital ID under the skin of every child in the world born in 2025 to ensure the future global society is 100% compliant with globalist goals. For those who doubt that Gates and the elite would go this far, it's time to wake up, because the plan to microchip every child under the sun with the digital ID has already begun. So only continue to listen to men like Bishop Nathaniel and the Christian church who telling you everything and giving you everything and saying that it's the MOTB other than what it really is, which is the RFID chip. Follow them. Scripture says when the blind lead the blind, they both fall into a ditch. And you people are as blind as they come. No hope of seeing. The elites are making their move and rolling out the digital identification phase of this dystopian plan in almost every WEF infiltrated nation. And our country of Trinidad and Tobago, our Prime Minister, our leader, have already pledged his support for this initiative. So it's going to be cashless in this country as well. And the enforcement of the citizens to take this chip is on the horizon, and it's not far off. It says, following closely behind, earlier this year, the Digital ID and Authentication Council of Canada certified its first digital ID verification platform for operation. Following closely behind, the Australian Parliament passed digital ID laws in May this year. Digital ID laws in WEF infiltrated national parliaments is just the start of the plot against humanity, and the Gates Foundation are wasting no time moving on to the second phase. And let me tell you something, Gates is not the only one who is behind this, pushing it. He is just one of the many globalists behind this plan to microchip the whole planet. Bill Gates has a history of using Africans as guinea pigs for most of his dangerous experiments. And now he is embedding digital IDs under the skin of Kenyan babies as a pilot program before a global rollout next year. Kenya is in trouble, and so is the rest of the world. Given Bill Gates' laser-like focus on implementing digital ID systems globally, and his advocacy for the widespread use of microchips and GMOs, it is crucial to understand that this globalist megalomaniac is out of control and needs to be reined in. And let me tell you something. As much as there is a lot of truth in this article, pay attention. They're trying to have your eye single on one individual. This is not the plan of one single individual. This is the plan of a nation of people who desire the power of Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai. Don't get it twisted, people. Because he is the one, as the scriptures say, roughly paraphrasing, sitting in the temple of the Most High, saying that he is the Most High. He envied that power. Remember, Job 9:24 said, the earth is given into the hands of the wicked. And they have the power. They are the ones who go to sleep and wake up and come up with all manner of unrighteous decrees and draconian laws. Their whole aim is to control you. They desire that power the Most High have. They don't want, in their society, their ideal society, there is no such thing as free will. They want free will eradicated. Now, in this, should we understand we don't have free will? Because everything a person does is determined by Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai. A man's thoughts and goings are of the Lord. Therefore, how can a man understand his way? So, the Lord has put it in their heart for they to be on this big push to control the hearts and the minds of the people. And in order to do so, they need to control every aspect of your life. This is why when, for instance, you buy a phone, before you could use the phone, you have to agree to the terms and conditions. They must have access to your pictures. They must have access to your audio, your camera. If you don't accept it, you can't use the phone. You can't connect to the Wi-Fi. You can't connect to the network to make call and what have you. And ask yourself, what is the purpose of this? For the gathering of information. You remember you hear they say information is power, and we are living in the information age. What did the scripture say in the book of Daniel? Knowledge shall increase and men shall run to and fro. 20, 30 years ago, we never thought we ought to be holding a device as small as this in our hands, capable of playing games that we used to go to the arcade to play, capable of having an entire library, which we had was to go to the library to access books, to read and find the information we're looking for. We have all of that at the tip of our fingers. So they have been gathering information on the inhabitants of the earth and carefully crafting their plans to subjugate us all. So the scripture tells us we ought to walk circumspectly, redeeming the times, for the days are evil. And evils are multiplied on the earth. Yet you'll have Jakes telling you, the mark is sin, the mark is Sunday worship, and all other poppycock breakdowns they're bringing out. This is why we will say proudly that Great Millstone has the 100% truth. This is why the MOTB is the RFID chip. And with that, I pray this lesson was edifying through the spirit and power of Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai. I'm your brother Abaniah of the South Arm of the Great Millstone Camp, Heralds of Yahushai, saying Shalom till the next lesson.